heart is haunted. Right from the start, dear, built on an acre of sand.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Zada.
And I'm Kelly. And we're here to remind you that there are always three sides to every story.
Two sides and the truth. This week's episode, we are going to be discussing love languages, different kinds of love languages. This isn't your traditional love language conversation that you're going to read about in the pretty famous book about love languages. For anyone not familiar, that they discuss, I believe, 5 love languages, and it pretty much sticks to those. I've experienced in life, there's a lot more than just those, and it changes.
I agree.
It changes based on, Kelly, why does it change?
I think just on as you mature, you learn different things about yourself, and sometimes you are forced to learn different things about yourself as well. So your needs change, your physical needs and your mental needs and the needs in your relationship. And then also, I think it changes relationship to relationship sometimes.
And that's one thing we want to discuss is the different kind of love languages within different kinds of relationships, because you might have 4 different love languages at the same time based on who the person is.
Yeah.
So whether it be your child or your parent or your significant other, your best friend.
Yep.
It can be any of them. So that's what we are here to discuss today. And so I think we should just start off with what our love languages are and go for that, go from there.
I think that's let's just dive in.
Yeah. So you want to start? You want to go first?
I'll take, I guess one of the easiest ones for me to talk about obviously is my own in a significant other relationship. So someone that I'm dating, someone I'm emotionally and physically involved with. And it can be very difficult for me because I personally am not a toucher. I don't like being touched, and I don't like touching things. I'm very sensitive, and so that can be very difficult when you're in a relationship because I want to be able to please the other person, obviously, and people like to be hugged and kissed and caressed and loved,
touched,
and so. That's something that I always have to learn how to deal with and how to show better and how to be able to do those things for my significant other because I want to, make sure that they're happy. I want to keep them pleased. And so that physical touch is not one of mine, but it's one that I've had to learn to be able to be a good lover to somebody or to be a good girlfriend or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But mine personally is I like when people do acts of kindness that you didn't ask them to do. They just did it because they wanted to make your life easier. And so they're like, whether that be take out the trash or whether that be like pick something up that you maybe got out or like if you couldn't figure something out and they just finished something for you without being asked to do it. And they didn't say, oh, look, I did this for you. Like they just simply did it to make your life easier. When you notice those things, that's what sticks out to me the most.
Now, is this the same love language you had in previous relationships, or has it changed throughout the years?
It definitely has changed because I used to not even know how to feel loved by somebody because of the physical aspect. A lot of people show love through physical acts. Right. Like I'm going to kiss you on the lips because I love you, or I'm going to, touch on you or grab you or whatever that is they like to do. Hold your hand even. That can be difficult. So when you take away that in my head, it's like, well, how do I know that somebody even likes me? Like how do I realize that? And it's usually, to me, it is, I finally realize it when people do nice things for me and not for any gain, even to even get my attention. But when I notice that they've done it, I'm like, oh, this person really, really cares about me because they want to just simply make my life better.
Easier,
and do something kind for me.
Now, what is Dante's love language?
Dante's love language is definitely, I think it's similar. It's acts of service like that. He likes it when I do things because I like to clean. That's one of my ways to show love to somebody is to help them clean, or I'll just clean and organize because I like to do that. And so I would do that for my mother because growing up, it was very similar with my parents. I didn't show necessarily a lot of love or affection to them because that's just, I have that barrier. But I would do things for them to show them that I appreciate them. So I'd clean for my mom. I knew exactly how she liked the house to be, how she strove to try and have it.
And I have a lot of kids, so I'm going to put that out there.
We do.
She has a house full of kids.
So I would
at
help
mom's
her.
house.
I would help her out and do something that I knew that she was going to do before she did it, so that when she got to it, it was already done.
It was done, yeah.
And then she could take the next step, because I knew that she would just go on to the next thing.
So basically, your love language with your mom is you giving her acts of servitude.
Yes.
Kindness.
Yeah. And that I carry that out. That's pretty much the way that I show love to everybody in my life, because it's really, I'll hug my friends, and because I make myself do physical things that are hard for me, and simply hugging somebody is very difficult.
Right.
But I do therapy, and that's one of the things I do is I give people hugs. I make sure I hug people that want to be hugged.
Right.
Like if they get happiness out of coming and hugging me, I'm going to give them a hug. And also to show, because that's really the only kind of physical affection I give most people is a hug. And so to be able to do that is important to me. So I try to do that.
Is there something that you catch yourself doing for people in general as a love language? Like what I do, my love language to show love to people is I cook for them.
Yes, you definitely do.
Yeah.
Your cooking is your love language.
It is
that
definitely
you give out.
my language.
So what is your love language with? Okay, let's start with family. What is your love language with family to have them give to you? Like, what do you like receiving as love?
It depends on the family member. So with significant other, it would be acts of kindness, doing kind things, whether it be fix my vehicle if it needed it, pick something up, fix something in the house. Maybe I needed something and I was just too busy to get it, and they took care of it for me.
Yeah.
Make dinner when I can't get to it or I'm really stressed out, whatever the case is. That's definitely something that I respond to. But I like to cook for people, and I like to share it. And it's not even, I like to cook what they like to eat too. And so I'll try to figure out what they like to eat, and that's how I'll cook for them. But I enjoy cooking too, but I enjoy cooking for people. Mm-hmm. Like if I don't have my kids home or I don't have to cook, I don't cook. So it's not like I just like cooking, but I like to cook for my family. And it's funny because recently, since my son said that the bus now is not getting to school early enough for him to have breakfast. Mm-hmm. They have a shortage of bus drivers, and so the high school bus that he takes has to drop a junior high kid off because they're short buses. So it's taking a lot of time, and they're late. They get to school right as it starts. There's no time. Well, he likes to have a warm breakfast, so he doesn't want to get up and have cereal for breakfast. Yeah. And I leave for work at 5:20 every day, and so I wake them up before I leave because they can't wake up to an alarm. Neither will wake up. They'll just sleep through it. So I wake them up right before I leave. Well, since he's been telling me how the bus can't get him there in time for breakfast, and he doesn't like cereal. And, he just isn't a cereal person. And so he would just skip it. Well, he takes medicine. He has to have a breakfast.
Yeah, that's very important.
And so I've been getting up at 4:10 so I can make him breakfast. And everybody. I've been making it for obviously everybody in the house. I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed doing it. I'm getting up 30 minutes earlier, and I already get up early to make breakfast, and I like it. Yeah. And nobody's down there with me. I get up, I start the coffee, I start the bacon, and
so that actual cooking process,
is
therapeutic for you, and it
very,
makes you happy.
And it is, and in my house, the hub of the house has always been the kitchen.
Oh yeah.
Now it's a little different in my house. When my girlfriends and I, the hub is my bedroom.
Yes,
because it's my solitude.
But we do have our really
kitchen
good times.
And in the cabin.
Yes, that is definitely a kitchen party at the cabin.
Yeah, so for those of you that have not listened to Kelly and I on the Third Wheel, as we've said before, I am on a different podcast with Al Mack from the Kid Craddock Show called Big Al Mack, called The Third Wheel. And on that podcast, when it started, his wife wasn't on it. She's on it now. And when it started, he would just have me bring my friends in, and we would talk to my friends. And Kelly was our number one friend we brought in.
Number one right here.
Number one. How many episodes were you on, do you think?
Stuff.
I know.
I don't even know.
She was on a lot.
Well, it really wasn't a lot, but it was at least like 5 or 6.
Oh, I think
it
like
might
10.
have been more than that.
I
Who
think like
knows?
10, 15. I think 10 or 15. I could be wrong. But so Kelly would join us on the podcast a lot. So a lot of the people that listen to us on that podcast know Kelly, know me, know our relationship, and know my story. We have a family cabin out in the hill country of Texas, which is central Texas, and in San Saba, Texas. And it's on my family property, and it is
amazing.
It is amazing. So we do a lot of girls' weekends there, and when we're there, I like to cook. And so we have this big table in the dining room, and it's connected to the kitchen. It's one room, basically. It has this massive island. And there are times when literally everybody is sitting at the table.
Party around the island. It's like a lazy river around that island, and you're like... walk around and you're like grabbing food off of there, trying this, trying that.
Yes, it is
or you're
wonderful.
helping Zada clean up after herself as she's cooking. That's what I try to do anyway.
It is the best conversations are had in the kitchen.
Oh my gosh. I remember one time that I pulled out my phone and recorded and sat it on the middle of the island for a while one night.
And recorded the conversation?
Yes. And it...
I can only imagine.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's private content.
Yeah. Well, and so I just feel like, it is absolutely my love language. Yeah. And I think that some people, it serves people that acts of servitude. Mm-hmm. They're getting their love language taken care of at the same time because, the meal.
Yeah.
So like Rick, for example, my boyfriend.
Yeah. What's his love language?
His love language is touch. I would say touch and food.
Physical touch and food.
Yeah, and I don't mean like dirty touch.
No, I'm sure that's part of it.
He likes that. Don't get me wrong. But that's not how I mean it.
But yeah,
He likes to be touched.
Dante loves having his back scratched, and so he loves that I get my nails done regularly too. So they feel really good. If somebody tried to scratch my back, I would say, please, can you please stop? Can you please stop?
Well, that's what's funny is he doesn't like massages.
No. Well, yeah.
But he likes it when I put my hand on his hand.
Yeah.
And he likes it when I come up and I just kind of hug him or whatever the case is.
Compression therapy is a big thing.
Yes. And the other thing, I really got tickled out of this yesterday because he's up in my room and he's in bed. He's tired. He's gone to bed. And
you're so cute how you smile when you talk about him.
Well, this story's it's so silly. Okay, I've never seen this side of him. Okay, and he just recently moved in, so this is a lot of newness.
We're going to be touching on this later.
Yes, this
for sure.
is a lot of newness. And so he's gone to bed, and he works very hard, and he doesn't sit down ever.
Yeah.
And he doesn't watch TV. He doesn't relax. He doesn't sit down until he goes to bed.
Yeah.
Just like me. I'm the same way. And so he had been doing all this stuff, whatever, and he goes upstairs and he goes to bed. Or he gets in bed. He's not going to sleep yet, but he's in bed for the night. And I'm still doing a few things because he doesn't like to do dishes, and I don't ask him to do dishes because he does so much other stuff. So I was still doing some dishes from dinner. Mm-hmm. So I finished the dishes. And then I decided just to check and make sure that the garage door was shut because he had been in and out of the garage. And I don't usually use my garage. So I'm like, did it get shut?
You're just making sure everything's locked down.
Locked down. So I go check and the garage door is wide open. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I got to shut the garage door. I thought, did he lock his truck? Because he's not used to living in town, So I go check his truck. It's unlocked and the window is halfway down. And I was like, so I call him because I have my phone on me. And I call him. I'm like, hey, your truck's unlocked. Window's half down. Garage is open. And he was like, oh. And I knew he was in bed. I said, I'm going to come get your keys, and I'll just take care of it. So I go upstairs to get his keys, and he's in bed, and he can't really see me from where the keys are. And he was like, the keys are over. I said, oh, I see him. I got it. And he kind of giggled. I don't want to say giggle, but a man giggle. And I'm like, what is so funny? And he was like, you were so, you didn't even expect me to do this. You just went up. I'm so tired. And you just were like, let me get this. Let me take care of this. And he was like, this is awesome. I love this. And he verbally said it. You know what I mean? And you are crying a little bit.
No, I'm not.
And so I just thought it was really cute because he was literally giddy about it. And I was like,
cute.
That's so fun. And coming from him, because, listeners don't understand this. I'm dating basically John Wayne.
Yeah, I agree.
He's the manliest man, and he's gruff and grumpy. I tell him all the time that he is a 80-year-old grumpy man in a 40-year-old man's body. And he's 42 now. And and he laughs, but everyone he follows on like Facebook or social media are like old grumpy men, and he loves them. Like just laughs hysterically at these old grumpy men. And he's become one of these old grumpy men. But he's also very kind and sweet, you know. And he knows my love languages as well. And he understands that it's him helping me do what I can't do because he's so handy. So I really appreciate the fact that he does that, you know. But it's funny because we went to a wedding this weekend, and it kind of made me mad that morning. Because my kids are autistic. My younger two kids, which are in high school now, are autistic, high functioning autistic, and they have severe anxiety. And my daughter was really excited, and if she gets really, really excited about things, she overthinks it. She gets herself so worked up that at the actual event, she can't handle it, and she wants to leave, and she's tired, and she's worn herself out.
Yep.
And so my niece was getting married, and she was so excited about this wedding. And my son was too, but she was super ready to. I mean, like 7:30 in the morning, she's ready to go. The wedding is not until 5:30. Now we had to be there at 3 for pictures because I was in the wedding, but still, she's super excited. Well, Rick is like kind of picking on her and I about how fast we're ready. Well, I did it because I knew she needed me to do it to function.
Yeah.
Like I know that, and that's what I'm trained for. And he was like teasing us, like, you know, y'all, and about getting there too early and about all this stuff, you know. And he made me mad. I had had enough. It was a stressful day.
Yeah.
I had a lot to do, and it just made me mad. Now, he wasn't being like an ass. He was just teasing.
He just took it too far. It went too long.
Well,
that can happen.
And she can't handle that. And that day's already stressful for her, and he's learning, but he didn't quite understand that that's not the day you tease her, because she's already.
Yeah, you tease it a day after.
Yeah, that's fine. She'll laugh.
Yeah, she will.
But not that day. Her anxiety's all, kicked up. So her anxiety kicked up makes me have a bad day.
Yeah.
And I don't want my daughter having a rough day. So I was a little annoyed with them. It wasn't mad. I was annoyed with them, So then I have to go to the wedding earlier for the pictures. I take my two kids. He stays at the hotel room. I'm like, okay, well, I got to go early for the pictures. And he's teasing me about how early I'm going. I'm like, I'm in the pictures, but also it's my niece, and I'm very close to my niece. And I'm like, if she needs me for anything, what if she needs me to run an errand? What if they realize they're missing something?
Yeah.
I am going to take care of it, So I get there early. He's teasing me about it. And he gets to the wedding, late because there was a wreck. And he didn't leave early enough. It was only an 11-minute drive. So I understand why he thought he was safe.
Yeah.
But there was a wreck, so it cost him 20 minutes. So he drove up as we're about to go walk down the aisle. And it is a long driveway to this big house. So you hear and see him. Mm-hmm. My niece turned to me. She goes, I'm going to kill him.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, I'm sorry. I told her.
Especially after he teased you all day about
yes.
being early.
And I told her, he teased me all day. You need to give him hell.
Yeah.
And she did.
Good.
Anyway, so he gets there. And I guess he realized he had gone too far. So this is where he kicks into the love language. So he gets...
At least he's somewhat smart.
Yes. And so he is the sweetest he can be, first off. And so I'm in the house getting ready or getting her ready. I was already ready. And doing whatever I needed to do. Pictures, whatever. And they're all outside because the wedding is outside. And so I don't get to talk to him at that point. I did see him drive up, and I was cussing at him in my head. and I was already stressed out. My kids were stressing me out. And so I don't see him till the reception because of that, like get to talk to him. And he sure the hell did leave the wedding, walk like the actual nuptials. And instead of going straight to the reception area, he goes straight to his truck and grabs me my favorite drinks that he stopped and bought for me on the way. And there's an open bar, but he wanted to make sure I had my favorites. And he's like smiling ear to ear. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm over. So, I mean, it's a love language. He caught on. He went too far.
Yeah.
And I was stressed.
Yeah.
He
had to get that ace in the hole.
Yes. Now, did I get to drink that drink? No, because my kid was acting a fool and I had to give it away.
Well,
but
I'm sorry.
But the love language was
Yeah,
there.
the love language was definitely there.
Yeah, and I really appreciated it. And, I think love language also, like with your parents, can be completely different. And I like how you talked about with your mom, how you would do things ahead of time. Because my love language with my children is different with each child based on what they're capable of.
Yeah.
And because I do have two special needs kids. I'm not a touchy person either.
No, you're definitely not.
I'm not. I don't
Me
like
and you hardly hug ever.
ever. And we're best
Every
friends.
now and then we do. But I mean, some of my friends, they hug me every time they see me and every time I'm leaving them.
Yeah, but I know you don't like that and I don't like it. So why are we doing it?
Well, sometimes
Unless it's support.
Sometimes I make you do it though because I'm supposed to make people hug me.
Well, and you've done it for support. Like,
Yes.
you know, when I've lost a family member, there's been times where we needed to hug and we have.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. But we're not both
we
not
don't,
huggers.
no.
And my mom was real physically affectionate. My mom was a physically affectionate person. She would hug me. She would grab my leg and like squeeze it. I remember that very clearly. And she was affectionate, you know. She just touched me affectionately. I'm just not. And I don't know why. I'm just not. There's no reason.
Some people just aren't.
Right. And I wish I was. I wish I was more. And
Me too.
Yeah, it's hard. And you want to be, but you
Yeah.
just can't. And so with my 4 kids, I can remember thinking to myself as a very young mother, remind yourself to hug the kids.
Yeah.
It wasn't because I didn't love them. I showed my affection in many ways.
Yeah.
I just didn't think to hug. It didn't occur to me to hug.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't. And so I would remind myself, you need to hug them. You need to kiss them.
Yeah.
You know, and when they're babies, it was real easy because they're squishy.
Yeah.
But then when they get older,
And you're already having to hold them.
right. But when they're older, you start thinking I start putting myself in them, and I'm thinking I'm crossing their boundaries.
Yeah.
Because that's me, you know, and that's not them. And I have raised 2 that are very physically affectionate. My younger 2 are they love hugging.
They do. They
hug you every time they see you. There's
they
no
do.
getting out of it. They're very affectionate children. Ironically, the autistic kids are the real physical affection, which is not normally the case.
Yeah,
My
it's
older
not.
2 kids want nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with
They'll
it.
just be like, hey, what's up?
Unless they're drinking. They are drinking age.
I think that can kind of bring it out of anybody. If they've had enough alcohol, they get
Yes.
to that point.
And my daughter, my 25-year-old said to me maybe 2 years ago, she was talking to somebody about me, and she adores me. We're very close. There's no like, my mom never hugged me type thing.
Yeah.
But she told me, Kelly is spilling her drink. It's water.
You don't have to tell them. They can't see. They would have
They
not
heard
known.
it. You can hear it on the microphone.
Like somebody's drowning in there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've shifted,
It did.
okay?
That's exactly what it was. That's exactly.
I had no control over that.
Runaway ice.
I'm just not.
She tells me about this conversation she's having with somebody about me, and she mentions, "Oh yeah, my mom doesn't hug. She's not affectionate."
Aww.
And I was
did that make you sad? that
"Oh,
she
it
said
hurt,
that?
but it was true, and I knew it was
yeah.
true." I was like, "I tried."
I feel you though. I feel you though.
Yeah.
I can understand it. Because in my head, I tell myself that too. Obviously, like in relationships and stuff, I want to be able to be affectionate. I want to be able to give somebody that, because it can be difficult to learn somebody else's love language and be able to do it.
Right.
Because it cannot be your love language, but if it's theirs, you want to try and meet in the middle, try to do something for them,
Right.
especially if they're doing for you. And if it's something that is physically hard for you to do, that can be very taxing on on your mental health.
And I did hug and kiss them, but definitely probably not as much as maybe other mothers do that are more affectionate, whatever. I definitely don't as much as my mom did.
Yeah.
But
me
my
neither.
mom also did other things that I didn't appreciate. So it goes both ways.
Yes, yeah.
And my kids and I are very, very close. And so there's no issue with the relationship, is the best way to put it. And one thing that we're going to do today, too, that we have talked about and we've not done yet.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited.
Kelly, tell them what you're going to do.
I'm going to run over and I'm going to grab somebody out of Big Al's that's right next door to us, because we're going to bring in, this is our Ask the Audience. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to see if I know somebody, I'm going to pull them over, or if I don't see anybody I know, I'm just going to ask somebody to come over and we're going to have them answer our love language question. So
All
we're going to
right.
so I'm going to go grab somebody real quick.
Okay, so those of y'all that are new to the podcast, we record at Big Al's Down the Hatch, which is a restaurant/bar in Waxahachie, Texas, and it is owned by Al Mack, who is our, my co-host on the other podcast I do called Third Wheel. And so Al graciously lets us use his recording studio that is right next door to the bar. And so we're locals here. It is a very small town. We know everybody. It's ridiculous. And especially between Kelly and I, because we're very outgoing and we grew up here, you can imagine. So she's running next door and getting someone. And what we plan to do is just talk to them a little bit about whatever the topic of the day is. And so that's what this segment is going to be about. Because I record another podcast in the same location, and I used to work in a local bar here as a second job, years ago. I know most of the people that hang out in the bars around here, because most of them were my customers, or I went to high school with them, or I don't know, they could be anybody. It's also a restaurant. It's not just a bar, but that does make a difference. So we're going to talk about is what their love language is. After that segment, we're going to introduce another new segment. So it's going to be a first for everything. Oh, yay. Look. Okay. Oh, wow. I cannot believe that's who you're bringing over. I didn't know who she was going to bring. This is such a surprise. You didn't know you were coming either.
I didn't. What's happening?
This is so perfect.
Is that on?
Yeah, I believe it is on. Speak into it. And look,
What's
those
up,
are my
girlfriend?
headsets. You can use them.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so we brought Melendy over.
We love Melendy.
Melendy is one of our best friends.
I love y'all.
I love
Hey.
you. Like, of all the people you could pick out of the bar, you picked one of our very best friends.
Oh, Lord.
We were just talking about the cabin and about love
Yes.
languages. And that's what the conversation's about today
Yes.
is love languages. And we're not talking about by the book Love Languages. Have you ever read that book?
Parts of it.
Okay, so we're talking about, but like more catered to you and
Like
where you
what-
are in
yeah.
life.
So if you can think of, we'll give you some time to sit here and think if you'd like, and it can be any kind of relationship. You can give us a family relationship love language. You can give us a significant other love language.
Like mine is cooking. You know me.
Yeah, she's a
Mine is
cooker.
cooking. My love language for most people. If I love you, I'm cooking for you. I'm going to make you
That's my
some food.
I will do that. I like to cook for you. I like to
Oh,
do
you
little,
definitely are.
She is, yeah.
And I love it when you do too.
Yeah, she's a fantastic cook. She's a
yeah,
fantastic
I like
cook.
to do little things for you that are insignificant but really significant at the same time, if
Yes,
that makes sense.
it does.
Yeah.
It makes complete. Like, okay, on Facebook, I posted, it's been about 2 years, probably, year and a half. I posted a sweatshirt that I saw that said, "I'm not for everybody," which is a theme of my life because people really love me or hate me. Like, there's not a lot of in between. And so I posted, "I really need this." Melendy ordered it. She just ordered it.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Yeah,
had to have
and she
it.
gave it to you. Didn't you give it to her at the cabin?
I did. I gave it to her at the
Yes.
cabin.
And I wear it all the time.
And you
I
were
love
like,
it.
oh my gosh.
The other day I unpacked my winter clothes, like when I was reorganizing the bedroom and everything, and my closet, and I've got my winter stuff out, and it was like on the top of the box. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy I forgot about it already. Like I didn't wear it all
It's
last
really a
year.
great sweatshirt.
It's the best sweatshirt. So yeah, that is your love language. Now, what is your love language that you like to receive from others? And it can be different based on your relationship. Like,
Yeah,
what-
like
you
give us
know.
an example for a family
Either
like,
with
or a
Jason.
friend.
So for my family, for my kids, for instance, just a simple thank you for, little
Like
things.
if they notice something that you did, like, oh, she washed my clothes for me. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, thank you. And or they know I'm stressing out over work or that Jason is stressing or hey, what can we do to help? Is there something we can kind of do, above and beyond what we expect of them necessarily? Just what can we do
additional
to
can
make
we
things a little easier for you? And
It's funny you say that about the thank yous because tonight when I made dinner, Rick said, the kids always thank me for dinner. Whether we go out to dinner or I make dinner, they always thank me. I didn't teach them that.
right.
It's just them. My older two, not so much. But the younger two, I get a thank you every night for dinner.
That's Delaney.
So Rick's there tonight, and Rick's like, when I cook dinner, y'all do not have to thank me. It makes me a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Isn't that funny? He said that, yeah. And I was like, really, why? And he was like, I don't know.
He
'cause
must not be used to people thanking them for providing food for them.
I guess
And
so.
really,
I
you
get it.
should.
And I told him, I was like, I don't expect them to do it. I didn't train them to do this.
Yeah.
He goes, I just don't know what to say. I mean, if I'm feeding someone, I'm probably supposed to be feeding them.
Yeah, no, Delaney always, thank you for dinner, Mom. And I always say, you don't have to thank me for dinner. I'm your mom. But I really, really appreciate it.
I think that is a above and beyond thing right there.
Yeah.
If to have that kind of respect for somebody where you make sure, even though that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, show that you appreciate it.
For sure.
Yeah. Even if they don't like the food, my kids will thank.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Sometimes
I know.
Tonight, Zaylee saw the chicken. There was chicken on a bone.
How dare you
She
serve
does
her
not
chicken
like
on a bone?
on her chicken.
Yeah, that's a thing at our house.
Yeah.
100%.
And so
That's
most.
why we cut Olivia's meat to this day.
And how old is Olivia? Let's let everybody know.
23.
Okay. So that's so funny. So she made her, she kept coming in the kitchen. She was like, it smells so good. It smells so good. And then I make her plate and she was like, I'm going to eat the salad and the potatoes and the Brussels sprouts, but she wasn't going for the chicken. So I had to take my chicken and like trim it off the top of it for her to eat it.
Well, aren't you a good mom? Did she thank you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Absolutely. She thanked me.
Yeah.
So, and we were talking about also about how love languages change. So is your love language different now in your, probably in your relationship is where it changes?
Tell us what your husband's love language is.
Oh, yeah.
What he
likes to receive. Like, what does he like?
He likes us to all pitch in. I would say around that. So, he's very big on
Teamwork or
a tidy home
Oh,
and
yeah.
this and that. And so, and he gets off work and he comes home and he immediately jumps in to help. That's his.
yeah, he's not going to sit and watch TV while y'all are all working.
No. And so he just likes you to jump in and do your part.
Yeah.
It's that simple. If you just jump in and do your part and take a little bit off of him or off of me, he wants the kids to take a little bit off of me.
Yeah.
He appreciates.
Yeah.
He's pretty simple. He doesn't require.
Much.
This thing is falling out of my ear. He doesn't require much.
Yeah.
He just, and he likes you to let him know you appreciate him in little ways.
Now, is your relationship now, your love language different now with him than it was previous relationships? Like, has it changed because of previous relationships? Like, my love language changed as I aged in relationships. So what my love language in my 20s with my ex-husband was is not my love language now.
Were love that you were showing somebody or that you were being shown weren't actually love. They
Yeah.
were manipulation or whatever, them getting what they wanted or me getting what I wanted. I mean, I'm not
I can
I'm not going to
honestly-
say I've never been self-centered and put myself first in a relationship. I mean, not really, you should put yourself first, but I didn't care about what happened to the other person. I mean, actually, I've never really been like that, but I've done selfish things before
we all have.
in relationships that weren't what I should have done. So
Yeah.
I get more out of how it benefits my husband than I do out of how it benefits me.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you love him.
Yeah.
I was married previously for, I really don't know how long because I've blacked some of it out.
I think that's healthy.
Yeah, it's
black
become a
it
big
out.
fuzz. I don't remember a lot of it. But we were together about 17 years, married, I don't know how long, maybe 14, 15. I really don't know. But we were together, no, it couldn't have been that long. I don't know, 13, 12, I don't know. Anyways, we were together about 17 years, together. We were married 20 because it took forever to get divorced. But, well, I guess if you count it, then it's 20. Anyways, I don't remember my love language because I don't think I loved him.
Yeah.
As you get, I thought I loved him. I did. But now that I'm an adult, I realize I didn't ever love him. I might have loved him like a buddy, but I didn't have this deep love that I have learned since then.
Love.
And I don't know that he even had it for me. I hope he didn't, because that's how he shows it. But
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
but there's no love language. I
Yeah.
really thought, when we talked about this thing, I was like, what was my love language? I can't even tell you.
I can't say I'm 100% sure with my ex-husband. I mean, I don't,
Yeah.
I think
I was just trying to get through the
love
day.
the idea of love, and I love the idea of marriage, and
Yeah.
I love the idea of a family, but I had it, and it was just really a lot of freaking work.
Yeah.
And it was more work than it should have been.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Well, and I was just trying to prove my mom wrong. It turns out she was right. I was really trying to prove it wrong.
Turns out your mom was right about a lot of things.
It turns out my mom was right about a lot. Melendy's one of the few people in this. We live in Ellis County, North Texas. Melendy is one of few people here that knew my mom.
Yeah.
Very few. And I did not know Melendy when she met my mom. She met my mom prior to meeting me, if that's not a small world. Because my mom didn't really attach herself to this part of Texas, So she has a real idea of what my mom really was like. And my mom was a handful and
A badass.
she was a badass. Yeah, she was bad also, but and an ass, but also a badass.
Oh, I totally meant the latter.
Yeah. And she was quite entertaining. I'm so glad that you're the person we pulled. This
Yeah,
has made me so
thank
happy.
you so
I was
much for
just-
coming over
You're
here.
our very first guest.
She was so ready too. I was like looking, and I was like, "Oh, you want to come over and answer a question?" She was like, "Yep."
I was like, all right.
in.
I don't even know what we're talking about, but okay.
I was like, "You don't need to know. It's fine."
Yeah. Well, we're glad that you came.
Thank you.
So this is the third episode, and what we're doing on the show is we're doing segments. Okay, so it's a little different than the other one. I know you've listened to the other one on occasion, and it's a little different than the other one. And the other one is just us talking. Like there's, we don't have a lot of segments or whatever the case is. It's also a little bit shorter than this one is. We're trying to do a few more minutes, but we wanted to break it up a little bit in segments. And one of them is where we just talk, and then the other one is where we're not going to do it every week, but we will be pulling people from next door
Yeah.
to ask questions.
Who's
and
ever
just
over there
Love it.
and willing?
That hopefully we know them, but if we don't know
Yeah,
them, we'll pull
who
them
kno-
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be more
Oh
entertaining.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, you don't know what you're
not
getting
that
into.
you didn't do a great job, but it could be even better. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. You never know.
You never know.
You never know what you're going to get next door.
Yeah. So you want to stay for the rest of the show? We got like 10 minutes.
Sure.
Okay. So
Sure, I'm in.
yeah. So Melendy, the reason Melendy is here right now is that her husband Jason Herron is a singer here, and it's Jason Herron, Herrin.
Yes.
Okay, I did spell it right. And he is a singer. Y'all should look him up on what is he on? He's on Spotify.
Yeah,
He's on
drop your
everything, right?
stuff. Drop your stuff. Let her do it.
Spotify, and iTunes, and Amazon, and all of it.
Yeah, he does
Everywhere.
all of it. Jason Herron, and he's a country singer. He's fantastic and just the sweetest guy. Great guy. And so she's here because her husband hosts an open mic night at Big Al's Down the Hatch where we record.
Yep.
So I guess if we had thought about you were going to be here, we would have figured it out, but I didn't know what time it was yet. So I'm glad you're here. And so then what we're doing, we're pulling people from next door and going to do this on a rare occasion. So we'll see what happens. Not that rare an occasion.
Yeah, we'll just make it happen.
So the next thing that we were going to do, and you're going to really laugh at this, is one of our segments is called Bless Your Heart.
Oh, yes. I've got a couple. I
And
might not even bring those up.
yeah. And so the Bless Your Heart, though, can be different things. It can be a Bless Your Heart like
Like a
see,
real one?
Okay,
Like
you
a Southern
inst-
bless your heart.
Or a
you
real
went-
one or a Southern?
She went to Instant Southern. So
Yeah, I know.
for those of you that are not Southern, let me explain to you what a Southern Bless Your Heart is.
Is there any other kind?
There are. They don't know. They don't know.
If you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know, and you just don't understand what we just did there.
It's like God love it.
Yeah. It's like when we're telling you that you're not so bright, or maybe there's something wrong with you in some way, or we feel sorry for you.
Maybe you're just hateful.
Or you're just hateful.
Yeah.
It could
Brought
it
it on yourself.
It can mean so many things.
Say it to myself.
But most of them are insulting. Very few. I say it.
Yeah.
Y'all have heard me. I say all the time, bless my heart.
But there
Bless
are
my heart.
people who don't know that that's the thing, and they think that you're actually blessing their
Blessing
heart.
them heart.
Right.
And
Well,
then
now you know we're not.
Okay, well,
If we're from the South, we are not actually blessing your heart. No, we're not. We are making fun of you, basically, and to your face. One time, someone, my favorite thing on social media is when someone says something really stupid or rude, racist, whatever. The first thing out of my mouth is, well, bless your heart. That's what I say every single time. I've become known for it to a degree. Well, bless your heart. And one time someone said, did you just call me a bitch in Southern?
Yes.
And I was like,
100%.
well, if that's
Yep.
how you want to take it, then yeah.
that is exactly what I did. And so this segment, it can be stories about it can encompass anything with Bless Your Heart. It can encompass anything. One of the things that I wanted to discuss on this particular episode and this one kind of ties into the love languages, because this one is about parents, and Melendy's on my social media, so she saw it probably because her and I interact a lot on social media. But if you want to follow us, I am Zada Owens on Facebook, and I am Z Mamacita on Instagram, and Kelly is Kelly Lady Pearl on Instagram. I don't know if Melendy wants to be followed or not.
Oh, I don't care. I just don't know if it's Good Time Melendy or if it's Mel to the Indie.
I think it's Mel to the Indie.
I think it is.
I think it's Mel
I don't know what it
is. I'm pretty sure it's Mel to the Indie on Instagram.
Yes.
And basically on social media, I do a lot of Bless Your Hearts and a lot of conversations, but I also kind of use it as a platform as almost like a blog. I kind of just discuss funny little things, and that's kind of what I'm going to discuss is that when I do a little thing like I did the other day, where I discussed when sometimes when you're a parent and you do all these things, and then you have these kids, and they don't know what you do, and they don't know what you're going through. And you can be going through the worst moment of your life, and the kids don't know. And therefore, they don't always react appropriately, and they don't always make the best decisions. And then they don't understand mom or dad can't take anymore. Like they don't know if your house is being foreclosed on, or if your boss just laid you off, or if you just found out you have to work 2 hours past your normal shift, 3 times a week, and you don't have daycare and you got to figure it out, or you got 2 bald tires and you don't get paid till Friday and you don't think it's going to make it. Like they don't get that, you know what I mean? And then they don't, and then as you get older and you have children and you realize how hard it is to do these things and to live this life, and then you realize how to be a good kid, but now you're an adult. Like,
So it's a little too late.
it's too late. Yeah. You learn to be the best kid you can be as an adult, or you can be a parentless or kidless person. For some reason, they think they're real good parents. No offense.
Another talk show.
I do not think that I'm a good
You
parent
don't. You
whatsoever.
never give me parenting advice, and that's smart.
The only thing I can do is I've been able to keep a cactus alive for a couple years. and
Or if
that-
your pets are your kids, that's not the same.
It is
no,
not. the
I can't
same.
even have. I don't even have pets. So
Can we talk about our cactus real quick? This is a side note. In fact, bless your heart right now. So a few years ago, Kelly goes to the cabin with me, and Rick is there, and Rick's brother is there, Brad.
Yeah.
And Brad takes a liking to Kelly.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the trip.
he did.
The last trip. Yeah.
You were there. Were you
I was
there?
there. Yes, I
Okay,
was
you were
there.
on the
He
trip.
is a lovely young man.
Yes.
He is a lovely young man, and
But-
all the girls love them.
Yeah.
Some Brad.
Yeah.
He is a popular guy,
Yeah.
and I'm very popular.
Yeah. But
And,
I was just not having it though, because I'm me.
Yeah,
And so
and-
but he gave me a cactus. He went out.
He didn't just give you a cactus.
No, he went out and found a cactus that was growing out in nature and dug it up and put it in a beer can. He planted it in a beer can. It was just a tiny little nub, like a tiny, tiny, tiny little cactus. And he gives it to me. And I'm like, thank you. Like, it was very sweet. I
I
realized
love it.
She loved it, so let's not
that has to
negate
be,
that.
Honestly, let me say that has to be one of the sweetest things that I've ever had somebody do for me.
Yeah, I love
like
it.
it was legit. I was like, man, okay, you pulled out all the stops here. But still no. But I kept the cactus though, because it was a cute little cactus and I really liked it. And so I kept it, and I kept it in the beer can for a while, but then it grew. It started growing. So I was like, oh, what am I supposed to do? So I like repotted it, and
You still have it?
yes.
Yes.
This is a couple of years now. It has to be like 3 years.
Yeah, it's
or
been a
maybe,
minute.
I don't know. And it's a good size. And I loved it because it was growing and growing and growing. And it was so funny because, cactuses will go through times where they won't grow very much. They'll grow a little bit and then they'll like have a growth spurt, whatever.
Same.
So it did that, and it was growing straight up. So it was just a straight little tower, and then it kind of tapered off, and then it had a growth spurt. So it looked like a
It looks
penis.
like a penis, like a head of
So it
a
was a
penis now.
cocktie.
Yes.
It's a cock tie. Good. There you go,
is a-
Melendy. It's a cock tie.
I love it. Hold on. That was a good joke, Melendy. It's a cock tie.
It's a cock
Yes,
tie.
it
Maybe
was.
quick because I have another story about
And
a cocktail.
I did.
I can't wait.
Well, I took a picture and I showed Zada, and I even we were at the lake when I was telling her about and showing her what it looked like, and she was like, you need to get 2 rocks and paint them blue and put them right underneath them. So we went
we
around.
searched for
We
30
did.
minutes for the perfect rocks.
Oh, Lord,
They were
why am I not even
yes,
surprised?
and so I put them there. Well, right after that, it gets attacked. It gets it by like a raccoon or
cocktie
something.
got
And what
by
does
a
it
raccoon.
do? It ate the head off of it,
Oh,
and it was so sad.
oh God.
But I took a picture of it after it got circumcised its entire head off. And I was like, you poor cactus. And the thing is, I named the cactus Brad.
After Rick's brother.
So,
Oh,
so
Lord.
Yeah.
I tell Zada, Brad got mauled.
Bless your
But what's
heart.
funny is when she sends me pictures of Brad, I send it to Big Brad.
Oh Lord.
And he laughs. He thinks it's so
and I
funny.
didn't know that you did that until recently. You told me you were sharing.
He thinks
Wow.
it's so funny. So this is a perfect bless your heart, because bless your heart and bless Brad's heart.
Oh no!
And bless
good
my
news,
children's
though.
heart.
Good news though, he has recovered and he's
still
still
functions.
growing. He's growing still. He's having a comeback.
He's regenerated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now tell me your other cocktail story. I got to hear this.
So I don't even know if I should tell it, but
Oh, yeah, do it.
So I'm a nurse, and I had this patient. And she had this cactus on her front porch, and I really liked it. And she said, "You can have that damn thing. I hate that cactus. It's just she just complained about it all the time."
I mean, who hates a cactus?
And what does a cactus do to make you
to
hate
make
it?
you so
No.
angry. And she griped about it all the time. I'm like, gee, she's really ungrateful about this cactus.
Oh, my
Well,
gosh.
it did look like it was very phallic.
Oh.
Oh,
get it.
I was
okay.
like,
It was a
okay.
cactus.
So anyway, one night, me and one of my
I'm getting one, by the way.
co-workers, we were having a girls' night out, and we decided we were going to go get it. Mm-hmm. So we went and just took it off of her front porch. And a doctor that we worked with, that we'd got to be kind of friends with, he told us, he told us, in our defense, he told us how to break into his office. So we did,
Oh my gosh.
and we left it on his desk. And the next day, he said, "Melendy, do you think you could explain to me how this very phallic-looking cactus ended up on my desk?" And I said, "Oh, the cocktail." He said, "Yes." And I was like, "Well, funny story." And he, so anyway, it became a joke from there about the cocktail.
That's really funny.
So,
That is really funny. And this sums you up. Everything out of your mouth is why we're friends.
well,
I have to ask you the story, and I don't even know the real story, so I hope it's not boring, because I'm just going to go for it. But I know I saw your post about Brandon Ryder and how you made him soup the other day.
and I didn't make him soup. I just
Taught him how?
I taught him how. We didn't cook together. We ran in. He was playing. Jason. He's one of my favorites.
I love
Jason-
him. Yeah, he's great.
So Jason didn't tell me that he was playing.
Brandon Ryder, for y'all that aren't familiar, Texas country.
Yeah.
And it's Ryder, R-H-Y-D-E-R.
HYDER. So
Also a good one to
He
check
didn't
out.
tell me he was playing, so I was dressed like a state fair kid. I was just not. I
Okay, those not from Texas.
What does a state fair could look like?
just
Homeless.
kind
Oh.
of homeless.
Oh,
honestly,
okay.
Yeah.
I was dressed to kind of be out on the lake, which is where we had been, and then we went to his show. Anyway, he played, and afterwards I'm like, "Oh, you didn't sing the song I wanted," and he was like, "Yeah."
Called him out.
And so then he ended up singing like the chorus of it in my ear and whatever. So
Oh, that's
afterwards,
very.
What song was it?
Can you sing it for us?
You
Will you
burn
sing
me.
it in
no,
my ear?
I'm not gonna sing
You
it.
burned me. Okay, then that way
Damn.
people know what song to
Do I
listen
have
to.
weird size ear holes? What is it?
You know what?
Probably do.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it.
So-
That's all. Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
I know. I can't function with these. But anyway, after the show, I was sitting on the tailgate outside with Brandon and his like guitar player and bass. I don't know, his drummer, whatever. We were all talking about cooking and how, I said I like to cook, and Brandon said he liked to cook, and he asked me why, and I said because I find it therapeutic. It's relaxing or whatever. And he was like, "Me too." And so we got to talk, and he asked me what my favorite thing was to make, and I told him it was Dublin caudal.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "Oh my gosh, well, tell me about it. How do you make it?" And so I told him, and he was asking me questions. And so we got on this just big
Did you tell him that you
conversation.
had it in the magazine?
I did.
Mic drop.
Because Melendy and I were both in little local magazines, and it's our little local claim to fame. So for our cooking,
We can send out autographs later.
if y'all need
Yeah,
a recipe,
you just let us know.
Let us know. I got you covered.
But yeah, so we did not cook together,
Right.
but I did teach him and explain.
I mean, in my head, I pictured you in the RV cooking up some coddle.
with our aprons on.
And I was like, damn, she had coddle going. Was he performing? And she was like,
In the background,
I'm in
just
the
cooking.
best-
I mean, I'm
Second
trying to
coddle.
imagine what's going on. And it wouldn't shock me. That's what I totally saw it.
100%.
Yeah, that would totally
this could
happen.
definitely happen.
I have fed a few of the bands that we played with in the RV.
I'm not shocked at all.
Yeah, my goulash was
A hit.
It was a banger.
Was it? That's too funny. That's
Yeah.
too funny. We don't even have to do the freestyle portion. We have a new
Yeah.
segment we decided on tonight. It's called freestyling.
Where we rap.
Yes.
You're first.
Ready?
This is where you come in, Melendy.
I'm the worst beatboxer in the world. We have people roasting my beatboxing.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
I'm just trying to give you content.
I know.
okay?
Well, I didn't know you were going to pull Melendy because we were like, what? We need 5 more minutes. We don't. We pulled Melendy.
We're good. We're prepared in case we needed that.
Yeah.
I don't know why we think we're ever not going to have enough to talk about.
I know. Rick says
we're
to
like
me,
pushing 50 minutes.
I know.
over here.
Rick says to me, we're having dinner tonight, and he says to me, he goes, so, because last night I recorded the Third Wheel podcast, and so he goes, so you're going to go record again tonight? Well, I mean, what? How much entertaining stuff can you talk about? I mean, I know you can talk a lot, but
Obviously,
is it entertaining?
He doesn't know you.
He's
Wow,
been around
is
us,
it
he knows.
entertaining?
That's what I'm saying.
think we're
That's the big
entertaining.
question: is it entertaining?
That's what he said. I mean, he goes, I know you can talk a lot, but is it entertaining?
It's entertaining to us.
Yeah,
I
think
was
that's
like,
very
I mean, I
situational.
guess, bless his heart, he doesn't even know how good he's got it.
It's
We're-
okay.
We're funny.
Right.
That's what I said.
I think y'all are hilarious. My stomach hurts most of the time after I hang out with y'all.
Well, yeah, so
This
this
not always from drinking.
No.
Sometimes it's just from drinking.
that does happen a lot when we were together. I was laughing because we have a friend Brandy who's not here, who's Melendy's like kind of Melendy's Kelly. My Kelly is
Yeah, she's
Brandy's.
like a sister to me. Yeah.
She's ridiculous. She's definitely the funniest one out of all of us.
Oh, stupid funny.
Yeah, and so we'll have to bring her on too. But Brandy was sending me videos all day yesterday of people getting hurt. Did she send them to you on rope swings?
Because I just saw someone wreck on a rope swing before we got
Did you?
Oh my gosh.
Where were you that you saw this?
our neighbors.
Oh.
Well, I'm talking about like the rope swings over water. And we had gone on one of our girls' trips to the cabin. We talked about the cabin earlier, so to clue you in. And so we went on this girls' trip. Were you on the one where I'm not
No,
going to
that
name
was
her
the one
name?
before. I know.
Somebody was injured.
It's a famous story.
Yeah.
So we
Where she
had
hurt her butt.
Yes, we had a certain someone join the trip. No, we'll remain nameless. Bless her heart.
Bless her heart.
And we were we're on the river in the cabin, but we like to change up the rivers sometimes. So we decided to go to kind of a creek-ish thing. It's not a river, it's a creek, but it's crystal clear and beautiful. So we decided to go there. That's on my sister-in-law, my brother's property, and go swimming. And they have a rope swing there. But FYI, just because you could do a rope swing when you're in your 20s does not mean you can do it in your 40s.
Or that you should.
Or that you should. Because you're not as strong as you used to be, and you have to be able to hold yourself up, and you probably weigh more than you used to, so you have to hold yourself up with your arm strength. So now you have weaker arms and more body to hold up. Plus, if you don't know what's below the water, you don't need to be doing it. So this person was warned, don't do the rope swing. Like, basically, we don't believe in you. Don't do it. It's dangerous. Don't do it. And this is by the people that live there. And this person decided that they knew better than them.
Yep.
So this person,
Little liquid courage as well.
bless her heart. Mm-hmm. So she gets well, she had liquid courage, but we didn't give it to her. She had just gotten there. Remember?
Yeah, well, I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
it doesn't really mean anything.
Doesn't
She
matter.
doesn't come anymore. I'm just going to put this out there. She no longer
Not
comes to the cabin.
trusted.
So she gets up on the rope swing. She's not there 5 minutes. 5 minutes she's on the property.
She hit 0 to 60.
0 to 60. So she's like, a rope swing? I got to do that. And so my sister-in-law and my nephew, who my nephew at the time was like 18 or 19, he's like, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, Jason's waving at me. He's like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do the rope swing. You'll fall and hurt yourself. There's rocks down there. Da-da-da-da-da. I can do this. You can't tell me what to do. So she swings on the rope swing, immediately falls, lands on a rock,
Punctures her buttocks.
and I don't mean the cheek.
Straight on up in
And
there.
then she's embarrassed about it and won't tell us.
Completely violated.
So she,
Yes.
yes. And she's in so much pain and she doesn't want to tell us. She doesn't tell us till like we leave.
till she's leaving.
And like, it's
Like she was
bad.
injured.
And she
like,
like
she
probably
needs to go
should
to the
have
doctor.
Yeah, she should definitely. She probably needed some stitches.
Yes. And so ever since then, we've had a lot of rope swing jokes, and that's probably wrong, bless her heart. But
Has
so
anyone said bless her heart yet?
Oh, so many times.
that's the name of the segment.
So many times.
So Brandy yesterday got on a kick where she was like, I'm going to send Zada every video of every rope swing accident I've ever seen with no explanation, just random video. And I was laughing my ass off the whole time. I'm not going to lie. I was like, this is really funny. Like, this is really wrong that I'm laughing at this. And I'm not laughing because she did it necessarily, because they were funny too.
Yeah.
The moral is, if you are in your mid-40s, do not attempt a rope swing.
Yeah, just
Do not do it, because it could puncture your asshole.
yeah. Moral of the story.
Unless you're into that, then I guess get on a rope swing.
Go get it.
So I'm gonna end our podcast on "Don't Puncture Your Asshole."
Yay!
Seems like a good spot. Yay! It's the end of it. So thanks for joining us. Please like, share, talk about us, rate us, review us.
Yes.
Please share. Because
Get a
we're
hold of
trying
us,
to, get a hold of us too. Because if you have an idea for a segment, we're gonna have people that send us messages. We're gonna talk about those things.
Yeah.
So send them in to us. Again, I told you how to get a hold of us. So I am Zada Owens on Facebook, and I am Z Mama Seed on Instagram, and Kelly is.
I'm Kelly Lady Pearl on Instagram. We also have an email for the podcast, and it is twosidesanddetruth@outlook.com.
I'll never remember that, y'all.
That's why I did.
She's in charge of the name. I can barely say it. I'm not gonna lie.
I like it.
I have no memory. I'm old. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for joining us, and we will talk to y'all again next week.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Love you.